Yo, what's going on, fellas? Welcome into the Friday episode here of Winning Bets, giving you guys free sports every single day. It's a big show on tap. You guys know why? It's money-making weekend this week. Boy, it's been money-making week. We've been 4 days to the good so far this week. We've made money in all 4 days with a nice little day that we had yesterday. So we'll, of course, make sure we go ahead and recap it. But, man, thank you guys for kicking off a day with me, kicking off the weekend with me here. Hopefully you guys are fired up. What did you guys make of that football game last night? We'll, of course, get to it there in the recap. But did anybody stay up to the end of that? Or did you throw in the towel like I did early? Because those two teams, they ain't deserve to get my time. They ain't deserve to get me to stay up, late to be maybe a little slow and sluggish this morning. No, they did not. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we, of course, get on into the recap. And as you can hear, my son is beating down the door, so that's fun. No school today, so the kids are home, so hoping he can behave while I try and knock out this show. Let's get into that recap, boys. How about that right there? We talked about it on yesterday's show. We put in 3 parlays for the afternoon soccer. 2 of them were in the Europa League. 1 of them was in the Europa Conference League. It was a success. Why was it a success? Our realistic goal was to go 1-3. That's what we were trying to do, was go 1-3. Did we want to go 2-3 or 3-3? Of course you do, but that's not a realistic expectation with parlays. The goal was to get 1 out of 3 to hit, and boom, we got that sucker to hit. It was AZ there in the Europa Conference League. That was the one there. Hat tip there to the professor there. That's his old strategy of just take a home team that's got playing against a team that they should beat up and beat them up pretty good. Take them to win the game. Take them to have the most corners, and also take that opponent to have the most cards. The corners part was definitely a sweat. It was 4-1 going into halftime. It was 1-1 at halftime. AZ then got a goal, became 2-1, but then they were able to level it. It was 2-2, but then they snatched up a late winner there with about 5 or 10 minutes to go in the game to hold out for a nice 3-2 win. And in doing so, they really overcame their first half corner deficit. And they didn't pick up a card, did AZ, while their opponent got 2 cards. So very nice, good strategy right there. And making it so we turned a profit. We turned a half a unit in profit. Because remember, that one was at plus 250. So it obviously overcomes the 2 losses. And then also help you guys put some money in your pocket. Then we rolled over into Thursday Night Football. 3-0 sweep, baby. 3-0 sweep. And no sweat sweep either. You don't really get that, right? We got an absolutely no sweat sweep. Of course, the first one was under 21.5 points in the first half. I mean, obviously everybody knows the way that game unfolded. That was an easy winner right there. There weren't even 21 points scored, or there were 21 points. That could have been the full game under. Are you kidding me? Our first half under was also the full game under. That game was an absolute joke right there. Obviously, then DraftKings did that boost of no score of the first drive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course I'm betting that one. And then the last one was with 3 team score 3 consecutive times. We said no, there would not happen. And that's exactly what did not happen. It happened twice, a couple times, but it never got to 3 consecutive scores. So a good plus 175 cash. So great day, guys, at plus 4.02 units. And now up on the week at plus 15.29 units. Love to see that right there, guys. Hit that like button if you were part of yesterday's cashes. I still can't believe it that I saw yesterday over the course of the day people giving out the over in that football game, and I was laughing at people giving out the over well before the game started. I'm not just sitting here after the fact kind of laughing. Are you kidding me? Neither team could convert a third down. Both defenses are relatively good at stopping third downs. You got teams that are struggling in points scored. People are taking the over in that football game. That's unreal stuff right there. But yeah, nice 3-0 sweep by us, boys. Love to see that right there. We carry that momentum and our great week right on into money-making weekend, which, again, it's a nice big show on tap. You got MLB playoffs, NFL Week 5. Don't forget about Nascar now, and I've already uploaded this episode's week of the Highline podcast. They're down there at the Charlotte Roval, the Bank of America 400. That's going to be a good race, so we'll, of course, make sure we get in some bets on that. And then lastly, obviously, you've got the Premier League in action. Wasn't the greatest of all, I thought, Premier League fixtures, but I thought there were a few that we can go ahead and bet and hopefully put some money in our pocket. So that's what we'll do. First, let's go ahead, though, and kick it off with baseball. That's the only bets I have today. The only bets I have for today are baseball, so let's just go ahead and we'll put them up. First of all, we want to go ahead and kick off the show with a parlay. Parlay me on this Friday, baby. Get me laid on a Friday. I'm going to get you laid on this Friday with this nice little parlay. Castellanos and Tapia, there you can see there are Phillies and Blue Jays. Each of them is going to get over 0.5 hits, and you can get that parlay at plus 145. Castellanos has just got great numbers up against Quintana. Remember, this goes back to the days where they were a red and a pirate, respectively. A huge sample size here. He's hit 11 for 40 up against them. Doesn't really strike out that often. He's going to know everything that Quintana is going to do. He's a left-handed pitcher. We get a right-handed batter. Just absolutely everything I look for right there. Then Tapia, he's 7 for 11 against Castellano. And in those 7 hits of the 11 plate appearances, hell, he's hit for the cycle against Castellano. He's got double, triple, single, and he's at a home run off Castellano. This guy's got really good stinking numbers up against Castillo. So love that right there. So we'll go ahead and bet each of these guys to at least get 1+ hit at plus 145 over on Bet Rivers. Then, guys, obviously, everybody in the postseason loves unders. You're hard pressed to find somebody that's going to actually pull the trigger on over because you're obviously a good pitching staff, and you just get guys on a short lease, right? As soon as you start getting hit, it's like you get hooked and you're out of the game, and the next pitcher comes in. So it's just hard to have big innings. You don't really see big innings in playoff baseball, so therefore it's hard then to hit overs. So I like the unders, just like everybody else in America that's going to go ahead and give out bets today. I like the under. I was just a touch nervous on the Nerfy. I thought about maybe doing a Nerfy parlay, but something in my belly told me that some is going to hit a solo home run in the first inning and is going to screw a Nerfy. So that's why I did the F3. I love the first time through a rotation. Obviously, that generally leads towards a pitcher having success going through the rotation through the first time. So that's why I did the F3. We should be able to get through the rotation, hopefully no more than once. If more than once, these bets are probably sunk. So hopefully it's just a nice, easy first 3 innings in both of these ball games, and we get under 1.5 runs in each of them. The Mariners Blue Jays at plus 115 over on DraftKings. And then Rays, Guardians, DraftKings has a 33% profit boost that you can go ahead and use on any MLB bet. That's how we got that one there at plus 106. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my phone, though, and just tell you guys who I like for winners. I just want to I don't really know why I quite need to pull up my phone. I know all 4 matchups. Hell, I spent a couple hours handicapping this crap. But anybody think I'm on the Guardians in Game 1? Of course I'm on the Guardians in Game 1. I like the Guardians against the Rays, so... this one breeds low scoring. This over-under, guys, is 5.5. 5.5. I'm telling you, we already know postseason baseball is low scoring to begin with. This is at 5.5. It's all justified. 2 of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Definitely the 2 best pitching staffs in the AL based off the numbers. This one's going to be low scoring series. Yeah, I like the Guardians of that one. For the other one, you got the Phillies taking on the Cardinals. I'm not going to be surprised if you get like a Phillies F5 money line, if you want to go ahead and bet the Phillies on the F5 money line. But I bet the Cardinals come back and steal it. That Phillies bullpen has just been terrible. It's been terrible in the month of September. In fact, they rank in the bottom 3 in the month of September. They got here on the back of their offense and a few of their starters, not because of that bullpen. I'm predicting in that game the Phillies cash the F5 money line, but the Cardinals are going to come away with the late game heroics, and they're going to snatch the victory away from the Phillies and walk away with the win. For the Mariners, Blue Jays, I like the Mariners straight up, and this price has fallen. This price was at plus 130. I'm now seeing plus 110 on DraftKings, and I like it right there. Luis Castillo, he actually faced these Blue Jays earlier this season when he was a member of the Reds and had great success against them. To the same token, Manoah had success up against the Mariners, but the bullpen is where you're going to get the advantage. I think starting pitching is going to be even. Both of these teams have offenses. The Blue Jays maybe more name recognition, but the Mariners have good bats in their lineup as well. You're going to get an advantage here with the bullpen. So I really like the Mariners today. I think they can walk away with a Game 1 victory. And then for the other ones, Padres and Mets, we kind of talked about it. If there's a guy that maybe be stumbling into the playoffs, it's Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. But if there's guys that can look themselves in the mirror and they can man up and they can get themselves to, go out there and throw a good performance, yeah, Max Scherzer is definitely one of those guys at the top of my list for me. So, hey, Yu Darvish, though, has absolutely killed the Mets in this season. He's already faced the Mets 3 times, and it's just been absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, another game that, because Darvish has had a lot of success against the Mets, I think Scherzer will rise up to the occasion. Of course, we like the unders in these games, but I don't like the Mets. I think the Mets can go ahead and do it. They've got the far superior bullpen, much far superior bullpen. I'm going to take Scherzer over Darvish, and I'm going to take those Mets bats and getting it done. But another one that should generally be low scoring. So that's how we see MLB playoff day number 1. We'll just go ahead and ride with 3 bets for you guys for today. Let me guys know what you guys have, and let's see what we got right here. I needed Wilson passing over 220 and Judy over sweating hard at the end. I don't know if that hit. I didn't stay awake till the end, and I did not look at the box score, so hopefully that went your way there. Hopefully that went your way. I'm assuming overtime probably got you over. Actually, I saw other people celebrating Jerry Judy over 50.5, so you probably got that to hit in overtime. Nice, man. Nice. I love Lucas. Yeah, thankfully we got to go to bed early. I'm right there with you. I did not stay awake to the end of that game. No touchdowns. I mean, you got a game go to overtime and get no touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about here? That game was brutal, Ross. You were spot on. The game was absolutely brutal. No touchdowns. That obviously you guys have probably seen it by now. You're on Twitter just like everybody else out there. That one bettor that put in a $100 bet on no touchdowns to be scored and walked away with $10,000. Kudos, my man. I didn't know in the NFL. I did not know in the NFL you could play for 68 minutes and not get a touchdown. I didn't even know that was possible in the NFL. Shit, my man. I think you put it in a couple extra zeros. I think you're a little happy, Jimmy. I don't think it was that many zeros, but damn, Jimmy. I mean, the stats were all there when we talked about those 3 bets we put in and going 3-0 in that game. All those bets were super justified because those offenses were good, or the offenses were terrible. The defenses were actually ranking pretty high amongst the league, amongst the 32 teams. So good job, Jimmy. Yeah, Phillies F5 money line. Right there with you, Mark. I bet the Phillies F5 money line hits. I'm just scared going against the Cardinals. They just put way too much money in my pocket this season. I'm not going to fade a team, which is basically what you're doing if you're taking that Phillies F5 money line. I'm not going to do that. They've been way too good for me this season. But if I'm betting it, Mark, yeah, you heard me say it. I think Phillies cash the F5 money line, and then I bet that bullpen wets the bed. And who cares how much money you put on it, my man? That's a nice hit. That's a nice hit. You put $2 on it. I don't really give a crap. Nice hit, Jimmy. Nice hit, Jimmy. All right, and good luck with your Phillies F5 team total there, Mark. Hopefully it's a 2-way line. Let's get a price check. Let's just see what that is. All right, now you got me curious. Mark. Let's get a price check on the Phillies F5 money line. 2-way lines, -120, so you get an option to push. I like it, Mark. I absolutely like it. Wheeler's done great against them, as your comment said. Quintana is not on Wheeler's level. I'm just not fading the Cardinals. That's not something I'm willing to do. All right, let's go ahead now. Move it to let's go ahead and move to soccer. Guys, if you want a justification for these bets, in this video description was my weekly appearance over on Pub Sports Radio, where Matt and I broke down all 10 Premier League games. We did that yesterday. So if you want any justification for these, just go out there and check out that video. Otherwise, just don't. Just tail this shit and just meet me at the cash counter a little bit later on. But Arsenal, Liverpool, both teams to score and over 2.5 at -125. You get a couple options of where you can find that best price. Manchester City team total, first half over 1.5. I think this is going to start to become a very, very popular bet. Look, De Bruyne got rested. Haaland got subbed off at halftime. They're going to be roaring, ready to go at the Etihad. I think they'll easily get 2 past Southampton in the first half, so we'll bet that one. And then the last one we'll go ahead and ride with there is Everton, Manchester United, under 2.5 at -102. And just like we started last weekend, started to use the hashtags here on this show just so you guys can kind of connect the dots when you see the hashtags on Twitter. EVEMUN. That's Everton, Manchester United. That's how you would say the game, like on a Twitter perspective. So trying to just use that to kind of connect the dots here. Anyways, that game goes under 2.5 at -102 over FanDuel. That's how we'll do this week in the Premier League. Will I add something to it? We certainly have a lot of arbitrage money. We certainly know we'll probably earn more arbitrage money over the course of this weekend with the college football boost. But nothing glaringly stands out. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean we can't take an under 2.5 and bump it up to 3.5 and do that, or take a 2.5 over and dump it and make a parlay. So plenty of opportunities, maybe make a little fun parlay over the course of this weekend. Just make sure you're following me on Twitter. All right, let's go ahead and now move over to NASCAR. I'm excited for this race here at the Charlotte Roval. I think this is going to be a good one. If you want any justification for these picks, I literally talked on the Highline podcast why I like AJ Allmendinger. I talked about why I like Austin Cindric, and I also talked about why I liked Michael McDowell. Remember, Michael McDowell, last time we got to a road course, we cashed him at plus money to finish in the top 10. I think he's going to do it again. So if you want to go ahead and run back that same bet, I can't be mad at you. But I think he's going to easily mop the floor with Kyle Busch. So that was the safer of those 2 bets. But anyways, I talked about all 3 of those guys. Again, it's on the Highline podcast. I actually, it's all here on the channel. It's already up. All right, let's go ahead and move it to NFL. Man, NFL, boys. You guys excited for NFL Week 5? All right, let's go ahead and throw up the bets here for NFL Week 5. Just a few. We're looking to go 7-0 in betting Bills games. That's right. We are currently 6-0. How are we going to get to 7-0? It's Stephon Diggs over 77.5 yards. You guys know the Steelers are allowing the 7th most yards to the wide receiver position. They're getting eaten up in the secondary. Say what you want about Stephon Diggs. He's a top 3 wide receiver. Absolutely a bona fide top 3 wide receiver. Steelers can't defend the wide receiver position at all. Again, giving up the 7th most yards. Stephon Diggs, easy play for me right there. Then the other one I want to go ahead and do is the Eagles first half spread at -3. And I want to pull up the exact numbers because when I was doing the research of this one, I absolutely just could not believe it. The Eagles are number 1 in the NFL in points scored in the first half at 23 points. It even gets better on the road at 24, where this game is going to be played in Arizona and Phoenix. So basically call it 23 points. So that's their average. You know where the Cardinals rank? Anybody know where the Cardinals rank? Eagles are first at 23. The Cardinals are dead last in the NFL. They average 4 points in the first half. So I didn't want to mess around with the full game spread. I think more than likely the Eagles have to cover. But when you start getting into this point of the season, we start talking about trends, and we like to bet trends. This is an obvious trend. The Eagles come out hot. And for whatever reason, the Cardinals come out stone cold, only averaging 4 points in the first half. And it's 6.5 at home. So we're not like they're, at home, they're going to be that much better. No, it's 6.5 at home. I cannot get away from the best team playing against the worst team in that trend and betting that one accordingly. So it's Eagles first half, -3 for me. I'll also do my favorite money line parlay of the weekend, Vikings against the Bears. Bears are god-awful. Actually, what is Justin Fields? Remember last week how we laughed about his over-under passing number was at 148.5? I'm just curious. What is Justin Fields' passing number this week? What have they given him? They've got it passing yards 166. I mean, just the quarterback is so, that's just terrible. They're not beating the Vikings. They're not beating the Vikings at home. I also like the Buccaneers to go ahead and knock off the Atlanta Falcons. Speaking of the Atlanta Falcons, anyone going to take the Atlanta Falcons to cover the spread? Remember, the Atlanta Falcons are the only team in the NFL that have covered the spread in every single game. They may cover the spread, but I definitely like the Bucs here in a bounce back. And they even looked good against the Chiefs, right? I mean, lose by 10, but hell, they gifted the Chiefs 7 points to start off that game. So, all right, I like the Bucs to go ahead and knock out the Falcons. And then the Jaguars under Doug Peterson. This isn't your Urban Meyer Jaguars, folks. Get that image out of your head. Urban Meyer and that shit show is long gone. This is Doug Peterson. We've got some stability. We know how to call a damn play. And we know how to put our team in success to win a game. They're at home taking on the Texans. I think the Jaguars can go ahead and knock them off. So that's my favorite parlay of the weekend, moneyline parlay of the weekend at least, at +110 over at PointsBet. And then, guys, you guys know how we've cashed. There's been 23 divisional games, 19 unders have cashed. Yeah, 23 divisional games and 19 unders have cashed. So I just took the 2 best divisional games I thought this weekend that I actually like the under in them. But because we're doing a parlay, we'll just go ahead and tease them up. So there in the Dolphins and Jets, we'll do under 53.5 points, and we'll parlay that with Bears and Vikings under 50.5, and you can get that teaser parlay at -123 over at DraftKings. All right, guys, that's money-making weekend to me, and it all kicks off here this afternoon, or hell, late morning. I think this one game starts at like 11 a.m., at least in the time zone that I live in here in Chicago. So a little afternoon baseball, a little afternoon payday, and then we'll roll that on into money-making weekend with NASCAR, soccer, and the NFL. And always the chance to add some more, whether they're real bets or free rolls. We'll certainly add some bets to it. So just make sure you're following us on Twitter. All right, guys. It's been fun hanging out with you guys this week. It's been fun hanging out, making a hell of a lot of money, talking sports money. Look forward to getting back in here with Monday, seeing where all this falls and seeing where the weekend ends. So enjoy your weekend, fellas. I hope you have a great time. We'll see you back here on Monday.